Into tonight's first game, let's step away from week 17 for a moment. We're in the festive mood, and this is when the networks put on some big movies. Well, there is a movie being made now called Gridiron UK about how Britball started in the UK, and specifically the Crewe Railroaders. Back in 1984, the Crewe Railroaders were formed by a young Cheshire lad named Gary Delaney. Like so many enthusiasts in the UK at that time, all Delaney knew was what he had seen on television and read in magazines. Now a movie is being made about Delaney and the Railroaders.
It's a happy film. More full Monty goes American football than Lock, Stock and Thing. There's a bit of villainy in it, and it's just a feel-good, happy movie. It's really gonna. I think it's quite a joyous, timely film, but it's true. That's what makes it exciting.
As far as we know, it's as close to the real life thing as could be, so I think that gives an element of originality. And the fact that it's a mix of American football players from that time, from this time, as well as the actors who seem to, with all intents and purposes, have taken on the roles quite seriously. So yeah, it's been quite good. I think people will see a good thing on the screen.
Friend of the show, Stephen Marcus, a 20-year Britball veteran, more familiar to the public as Nick the Greek from Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, is playing the part of a demented physio.
There's a lot of comedy, a lot of slapstick comedy. I play the team physio called Eddie, who is just this mad guy who trying to fix everything but breaks people's legs and stuff. Just a bit psycho.
But a little bit different for you because you used to be a football player, so not in a football role.
Yeah, no, it's not a football role. For the first time in a long time today, I've been doing football and I've been thinking, oh, I can just do that. I can still do that. Then my knees say, no, you can't. No, stop that. Don't even think about getting out on that field again. It drags me back to like 20, 30 years ago when I started, 84, I started with a team called the London Lasers. And just remembering, like, seeing all this kind of make-do outfits, make-do kit, going back to all that then. We all did back in the 80s when this sport first started, and everybody in England was like, yeah, we want to play this game. And nobody had a clue what they were doing. We all just play. I'm surprised half of us are still alive, really.
In 2005, the first draft of the screenplay was finished, but it's taken 7 years to get the film Gridiron UK into production. It's Gary Delaney's script, as well as being the driving force behind the project. He is also the director, bringing his own story to life on the silver screen.
In 2003, I moved to Texas, and I've always written stuff. And
Texas is one of the, if not the biggest American football state in America.
Yeah, I'm a Longhorns fan. I'm a Longhorns fan as well. Yes, it was when I used to tell my stories to my friends that I made out there, and they said, "Man, that's so funny. You should write a book or something." And that's really where it all came from.
How is it sitting in a director's chair and you're filming somebody who has to be you?
I found it very difficult at times because I got it in my head how it actually happened in real life, and trying to get people. What I've had to do is actually distance myself and stop looking at it through my own eyes.
Delaney has brought in some NFL star power in the form of 1997 Pro Bowler Dorsey Levens. You should remember Levens. He played in 3 Super Bowls in an 11-year career, most notably with the Packers.
There's actually Kyle Turley who put us in touch with Dorsey, and Dorsey did an audition for us, remote, and everybody fell in love with him. No matter who we show him to, he has such a screen presence, such a lovely voice, he's such a great guy, and well-respected guy. There's not a bad word to be said about him anywhere from the Green Bay Packers downwards, and so it was an absolute perfect match for us.
It's like surreal. You know, you see these guys on television, and suddenly there they are in the flesh, and you go, oh, that really is them. In fact, he was in the toilet at the same time as me today. I went, oh my God.
Dorsey's a great guy, really nice guy. And of course, knows a lot about football. And all the football players are all over him, picking his brains, trying to encourage him to stay and play for the team. You know, I can see Dorsey playing in British football.
You're about the only one that could possibly see that. But when you talk about, okay, I've always been a big movie buff growing up, and I always wanted to know what it felt like to make a movie. So once
I knew my career was winding down. Probably late in my career, last 2-3 years, I started taking acting classes. You know, I started learning what it is that they do. How do they do what they do? What do I have to do to get better? And I just stuck with it, you know what I mean? And things just kind of fell into place, and now I'm in the middle of England shooting a movie.
Of all places, huh?
It's funny. There's some funny cats out here, man. A lot of times it's hard to keep a straight face on camera. You know, you might have to turn away, duck your head a little bit. But there's some funny guys, man. Very talented, funny actors on this cast.
So what do you think of the story, though? I mean, being that it's a true story.
It's kind of crazy. I was like, Gary, man, you didn't have it together, did you? You know, you risked a lot.
Story hopefully to be at the cinemas at the end of 2013, and I guess any given Sunday has something to watch out for. Huh?
It might have something to watch out for, but not really. But you know, it's great that they are making that movie, and it is great that someone's paying attention to the history of American football in Britain, and obviously the growth of American football here. You know, that movie has a place.
So it was a story that needed to be told.
Yeah, I think that's a story that will resonate with a lot of people who played when we first started playing the sport in this country. If there was a guy who worked in your local office who had an American accent, he was the head coach. You know, you rolled up newspapers.
I would have had a shot. Huh?
You'd have been in, Kev. You'd have been in. I mean, that's how it was. It was a ragtag bunch of guys who played for the love of the game.
Okay. Well, tonight we're dealing with the NFC North. Now later on, we'll see the Wimbledon.